Hi there. As a longtime executive coach, I often get asked the question about what actually is coaching. And that, in addition to the fact that there are a lot of people out in the world these days that call themselves coaches, some taking a couple of minutes at least to clarify what is coaching and what is it not could be useful. My name is Sherryl Christie. I've been coaching as an executive coach for a little over 25 years at this point. And I think of coaching as a partnership in its most simplest form. It's not a hierarchy, it's a partnership. So let's compare it and contrast it to, for example, consulting. As a consultant, a person will go into a company or is hired by a company to diagnose a problem, to be able to identify solutions, and then sometimes hired to implement those solutions. A coach, on the other hand, may be part of helping identify what are patterns that exist that might be getting in someone's way. Coaching is much more oriented toward a vision or a future goal as opposed to a specific problem. And the coach is not the content expert on whatever the particular issue is. When we think about another industry, another category of support people, I think about a therapist. So a therapist, again, it's a bit of a hierarchical relationship, just like with consulting. And the focus of the therapist is to be able to identify patterns that exist that might be impacting psychological, emotional, or relational functioning, and then help the person unpack the history and identify a path forward through that history. Now, similar to coaching, a coach will often help identify patterns that exist in things, but the future is much more the focus as opposed to the history. It's what is a vision, what are the goals, where is the person trying to go or to grow to, and then help identify in partnership, equal partnership, with the client, what are some ideas for solutions, and it is the client's job to implement those solutions, not the coach's job. Another arena that people often confuse with coaching is mentoring. And again, a mentor, similar to consulting, a mentor usually has some deeper wisdom or experience in the particular content area that the client is looking for. And oftentimes they will provide solutions and/or feedback. Sometimes they provide coaching as well as part of the mentoring. I think about this kind of coaching as most closely aligned to athletic coaching, where the coach often has much more expertise, will diagnose what the person is doing, identify solutions, and give instructions on what the person should do. It's again much more of a hierarchy than coaching. Sometimes it helps to think about coaching as like a walk on the beach. I live not too far from the beach in the Pacific Northwest, and I think about a walk on the beach with someone who is exploring what they want to do next, where they want to go, what might be getting in the way of those next steps. It is, again, equal partnership, and on the part of the coach, there's no judgment. It is a relationship where the coach is very deep listener without an agenda in hand. The coach's job is to ask thought-provoking questions. And perhaps as the client is identifying potential directions and solutions, to offer some ideas based on the coach's experience, either their own experience, but more often than not, the experience they've gained from working with a number of different people. So you may hear about a number of different types of coaching. People will talk about life coaches, they'll talk about leadership coaches, executive coaches, they'll talk about spot coaching, they'll talk about transformational coaching. So just a word about navigating through some of those. Spot coaching is usually focused on a specific issue that the client may be dealing with. So it's short-term, focused on a particular question or struggle or preparation for a particular event. That's spot coaching. Short, sweet, very, very focused. Then when we think about life coaching, for example, we think about someone who is focusing on issues about progress and growth in their life overall. And then leadership executive coaching is mostly what I do. And although it involves life, I think who we are is how we lead. The primary focus is not on that. It's about more effectiveness as a leader. It could be growth into a next role or position as a leader, for example. When we think about career coaching is another way to go, another type of coaching. Relationship coaching is yet another one. So it's important as you're thinking about coaching to think about what you want. Most of the work that I do with people is what fits in a category we call transformational coaching, which means we dig a little deeper into patterns and belief systems, ways of perceiving ourselves, others, the world. It involves a lot of emotional intelligence, exploration, and clarity around vision and goals, as I talked about before. But the intent is to really help make the internal shifts that end up being long-lasting. So all of the decisions and directions people may go can be based on those internal shifts. I often call it like a tectonic shift, like the plates in the earth, that people make a deeper shift and going forward. So that's sort of an introduction to coaching. And we'll talk more in the next video about how to actually select a coach. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Please let me know if you have any questions. Love to hear your comments, and enjoy the journey. Bye-bye.